And we're live.
People.
Alright.
Making sure my phone's on silent.
So, I'm gonna mostly work on the head because if I do the body, it'll take the whole time and just patterning. But same process essentially. I'm actually gonna do some 3 pieces. Step one is wrap
it very tightly with saran wrap.
So you're saran wrapping it for what reason?
You'll find out in step 2.
You can see that is wrapped.
I did just float the gap, but also I'm not that worried about this piece because I'm going to make that fatter.
When I make my pattern, I'm not worried about it.
When I make my pattern, but I'm not that worried about it.
So step 2. You can also use packing tape.
You can also use packing tape. You can use a lot of other tape. I like duct tape because it tends to rub out nicely and match the shape with the least amount of wrinkles and stuff.
Plus, it's fairly durable. Next step is
literally just cover this whole thing
in a little patch of the
duct tape.
Be careful your duct
tape doesn't pull back on itself. It will stick to itself, and it is a pain.
Just make sure all your
patches overlap. Come on.
Let go of my finger. Okay. So
this is another thing you gotta watch for. You can see how the tape split because I pulled out instead of across when I was tearing it.
Now, does that happen often with duct tape, or is it just the luck of that roll?
That's a common thing.
It's a common thing. It's just I pulled the wrong direction.
Okay.
So you can actually, if you have skinny spots.
Skinny spots,
pull off the chunk of duct tape.
You can actually pull off the chunk of duct tape. Say I needed a lot that was like half size. You can literally split it in half, and then you have 2 narrower pieces.
On the upsides and downsides.
It's one of the upsides and downsides of duct tape. It's very easy to turn into smaller enough pieces to do whatever you need to do. So if you're doing like really hard corners, I would actually recommend doing this. These are fairly long, rounded corners, but something like
by his nose up here
wouldn't be a horrible for this.
Compound curve.
It's a nice compound curve.
Compound curve means
if you're wondering, curves 2 directions at the same time. So I'll have a curve this way and a curve this way at the same time, whether it's outward or inward.
As long as you have
compound. As long as you have at least 2 curves in it.
So like the outside of a
ball is a compound.
Okay. I should have grabbed some water, but oh well. Oh. You got quite a bit of stuff open back there.
Oh, back here?
Yeah.
Oh, back here?
Drawers and cabinets.
Realistically, no. Door. Well, last thing you get into the drawer possibly later, and that one down there, but that's because that one needs to be reorganized. And I was working on Doom.
And I had to find something that was in there.
Mm.
Because Doom is these guys.
These guys. So these are little like metal tokens that you can get. I originally got them for doing the BMO faces. They have 3M adhesive on the back, and you just stick them to stuff. And then if you have magnets, it gives you something to hear the magnet too, or I hear them through the magnet. So in the case of Doom Pool, I'm using the magnets to adhere to those, which are on the base. Versus BMO, which is BMO has the magnets
metal tokens
and there's
so you can stick it on there.
Metal tokens on each
And what would decide which one you want to do realistically? If something like BMO, it wouldn't be very cost effective for me.
So you can stick it on there.
To have to buy magnets for every last So these things are fairly cheap.
Case we want to build.
Bag of like 25 of them. I think it was like $4.
So these things
and magnet I paid
are fairly cheap.
I think it's like 6 of them, 8 of them, something like that.
8 of them, something like that.
They're fairly low strength. They're only 15.
And they're fairly low strength. They're only 15-pound mag. But
you can get different.
You can get different.
You can get a lot more out of it. So
you can get a lot more out of it. So also, where do you need it to hide? That was the other big decider. Because on my normal Deadpool mask that's under that, I wanted them to sit flush into the mask so that when the skin gets over, if I'm wearing just Deadpool or I'm wearing one of my many other people that require that mask, I'm not having big weird lumps in my forehead.
Versus like
BMO is the opposite issue. BMO's body is like an inch thick, so I can inlay those magnets into his body.
And then all those faceplates
will just stick right to him.
And I keep the faceplate super thin.
And low cost and low weight because
grabbing
the metal tokens. Plus, they're not grabbing every piece of metal around them.
So you just have to think about what's going to be
in the use of the item. If you are doing something like, I don't know.
If you're doing something on your costume, that's going to be an all the time thing. And there's always something to it. For cleaning or whatever purposes. Acting out. Want to be able to move it for cleaning or whatever purposes. Acting out whatever. But if we want it to be like a temporary sometimes a prop that you're going to add to it sometimes. So say like I would probably put the magnets in Iago, not in the far shoulder. And you want to add an Iago, I would probably put the magnets in Iago, not in the far shoulder. You wouldn't even notice it. And if you aren't bringing Iago for that time, you don't need to. But you're not going to get a bunch of grime and stuff stuck to that magnet. Versus Iago, you can stick into a bag. Any metal that gets stuck to it is on the other side of the bag. And it'll help keep Iago clean. But then when you go to a show, you can click them right onto your shoulder and just stay there. Also, you might want to think about the strength of magnet. for that
So like
mask,
for that mask,
that mask
weighs 8 pounds or 8.5 pounds.
So I want to go a little above that.
So I want to go a little above that because there's going to be force because it's moving.
As I turn my face,
Because as I turn my face and stuff, you have centrifugal force pulling out on the mask. That's going to add force. So I ended up going with a 15-pound magnet, which gives me a little bit of leeway. I put the first one on, and what I didn't like is because it was only one, it was kind of wobbly and hanging off. So I added a second magnet, less to hold it, more to just hold it in place. And I can still just grab it one-handed and pull it right off like it's not.
Any other questions on that?
I think you covered everything, even the stuff I was going to possibly add in. You said it. It's like, what the heck? Like, well, all I did was ask a question, and you pulled a Phil and ran with it.
I mean, if I go on a rant, I'm going to go on the full rant.
Yeah, I guess it was a good rant. It was a very informative rant.
I'm doing non-brain function work. Because this is pretty simple. This is literally stick the tape there. Stick the tape, tear it off, stick tape, tear it, and cover the whole thing. Make sure it lands smooth. Not brain surgery.
Yeah, brain surgery gets kind of messy.
When you're doing this, though,
one thing you do want to think of is
you can start looking at it.
You can start looking at it and see where you might want to put a seam. One thing I know I am definitely doing with this is he'll have a seam from here to here. Because this is the end of the cut where his head is split. So I'm going to go straight down the middle of that, all the way down to his neck.
By splitting him right there,
that allows me to open it up and I can peel it off from there. And then I have to figure out how to make it flat while hiding all my seams.
I do have a couple
of giving points. So like I'll probably have a cut mark here to help flatten it. Because that's where his ear holes are right here.
So he has a little bit of fluff by his ears. And that will hide that seam. Same with this side, same thing. The seams around the collar because he has like
will hide really well because he has like almost a mane around his neck.
You can really hide it.
So there's certain spots you can really. Also, if I'm not that worried about it, because if it's like down back here at the back of the head,
and I have to
cut, say this way into it at a weird angle.
The
fur will cover part of it, and if I need to, I can always stick blood on it because it's gore.
Gore is lovely.
And gore is lovely to hide things.
We love gore.
You can make so many things
look so
much better if you're doing horror, because it is kind of easy to hide stuff hide little crimes underneath blood.
I mean, as long as you don't do something horrendous,
it's not that hard to hide it. What you really have to do is make sure your shape is right.
So if you got stabbed
and your anatomy is right. So if you got stabbed here, you're gonna have blood drops coming from down here upward.
Because an injury here
an injury here is going to look down, not up.
You just gotta remember your physics and your.
You just got to remember your physics and your basic science stuff, and it's not that bad.
It's all science.
You can get anatomy book really cheap.
Even if you
what a good thing to look for is go to like Goodwills or
makers do.
thrift stores, which most makers do. Grab anatomy books if you see them. Animal, human, otherwise, because it'll tell you how the body works. A lot of them will have muscle breakdowns. So if you or they'll have the layers where it's like skin, muscle, meat, bone, guts, and then if you have to make something, you'd be like, all right, I'm making a zombie. I want the intestines falling out, and I'm bringing it up. I'm gonna make this piece open, which is where all the intestines are. But I'm also gonna bring it all the way up here so I can show part of the rib cage. What organ is here?
Well, the organ that's here.
Do you believe that would be?
kidney
Kidney or spleen?
I'd have to look at my chart.
But I choose to use one of those.
You have a chart.
I was wrong. Well, I was kind of right.
I was wrong. Well, I was kind of right. The combination. Your pancreas sits here. Your spleen is out here a little more. So I was right but wrong.
But yeah, things like that are the things that will help you. And just
like, I think this was a couple bucks. And they worked. Yeah, it was six. Hobby Lobby $6.95.
Also things like you find old books.
Like this. I found this at a shop down in LA, but I'm sure you could find it online.
Like all the old.
But this is like all the old techniques on how to do hair and prosthetics and stuff.
A lot of that same stuff applies when you're doing something like this. Because you're looking for the same thing.
You're just not using a human as the base.
You're using
the
prop
to be the anatomy thing. So if you want to do like My Hero Alchemy, or not My Hero, Attack on Titan. If you want to do Attack on Titan, you want to do on the meat giant.
You want to make it look really
good.
You want to get one of those
charts like that and look at all the meat structure. Look how the freaking calf muscles come together and all that stuff. And that will actually make your costume look amazing. Probably more accurate than even the anime.
And the more accurate you
make it, the better it sells.
And that's how you get those wow factors. Is just by freaking little details. The little details sell so much. The 10% sells the 90.
The 10% sells the 90.
10% sells the 90?
Mm-hmm. So if you costume, right?
Have a costume, right? Say you did a bullet hole, you have all the meaty chunks here,
blood on it,
but you have no blood on it and running down anywhere, it's not going to look right.
That's that little 2%.
That's that little 2%. You got 90% there. You had that blood would have been the other 10% to get you over that line where it sells fully.
10% sells the 90.
The 10% sells the 90.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's gore or otherwise.
It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's gore or otherwise. Because if you make beautiful dress and you don't finish the
If you did that percent extra, cuffed all the bottoms and sew them out, it'll look so much better.
but if you did that, it'll look so much better.
Even with the paint job, just wet
Literally,
If
you take a
paint job,
basic
Doom,
paint
for
job, for instance here,
Doom, I paint it black, but all those little like shiny bits you see there, those are just little touches with the paint.
Those are just touches with the paintbrush
That show the metal.
that show the metal exposed underneath.
Make it look a lot better because otherwise it looks very flat and two-dimensional.
And all the high spots make it look a lot better because otherwise it'd look very.
All right. I have almost finished covering this thing.
All
And
right.
I get it cut.
I have almost finished covering, and then I get to cut it off.
Get to your part.
So the whole point of the saran wrap is just so you don't stick. I don't know if I ever mentioned that earlier.
But yeah,
But yeah, the whole point of the saran wrap is to make sure you didn't stick it to your thing.
If you can,
If you can kind of guess where you're going to put seams, like I know I'm putting one right up here.
across that section,
You'll notice I'm putting a lot of long strips across that section.
my line up here.
That's because when I run my line up here and I cut that open,
I want that tape to come across.
I want all those sections. I want that tape to come across those sections so that when I cut it right there, I'm not going to have sections pulling apart.
I want to give myself a decent base.
I want to give myself a decent base to work with.
So if someone didn't do that, like how you're putting the longer pieces because you know where you're going to cut, how badly would that affect their project if they just did like little strips or went in the opposite direction of the cut?
It's not going to be the end of it, but it just makes it your pattern.
It just makes it your patterns more durable and
Like,
stronger.
no certain things.
Like
I know my neck
like,
is going to be big.
I know my neck is going to be bigger than what I'm actually drawing out here.
But I'm still covering it.
But I'm still covering it some because I can cut stuff away.
So what your main goal is,
So-
though, is to
What your main goal is, though, is to
how to put this. Bigger
How
the
to put
piece
this?
you use without
bigger the
getting a
piece you can use without getting a wrinkle.
So if
So,
it's gonna wrinkle,
If
use a smaller piece.
it's gonna wrinkle, use a smaller piece. But if you can get away with something bigger because it's kind of a long flowing
do it. It's gonna
piece.
one, it's easier to
do.
Two,
And two, it's gonna come out smoother and nicer.
Plus, it's a little quicker.
The later that it'll get done, and this stuff is idiot.
I'm not a fan of this.
I'm not a fan of this, but it is part of the process. You do the process.
That's
what you want to watch out for. You see it wrinkling there
Yeah, I caught the
all
wrinkle.
around that edge.
Mm-hmm.
You
do not want.
do not want wrinkles.
I might have to hear that long edge here. Get it smooth. Yeah. That smooth.
I might
Pinch this. Don't pinch it.
have to hear
Use
this
your fingers
long
to
edge
rub
here.
it down, and you do that. Got rid of that wrinkle.
And you
And just by splitting it, now I can put a second
And
piece
just by
next to it.
splitting it, now I can put a second piece next to it.
There we go. Same coverage.
And there you go. Same coverage,
Little-
same piece of the tape, a little bit of overlap.
And that part's done. Now I just cover this chin piece.
And that part's done. Now I
And
just
we'll
cover
be
this
good.
chin piece. And we'll be good.
Be
Be on
very careful
setting.
your tape doesn't touch itself. or
Be
you'll
very
end up
careful your tape doesn't touch itself, or you will end up with, and that is garbage.
with- Sticks to itself a lot of the time. You can't get it.
Once it sticks to itself a lot of the time, you can't get it back.
It is a lost piece.
It is a lost piece.
When it's stuck, it's stuck.
Also recommend
I would also recommend get yourself a pair of headphones
or put on one of your louder shows you like to watch. This
preferably
is
with noise,
very
or put on one of your louder.
pleasing sound.
This is a very
Get a lot of the tape tearing over and over noise.
tape tear over and over noise, which gets annoying after a while.
And then when you're rubbing it down, especially if you
And then when you're rubbing it down, especially if you use duct tape, you'll get this
squeaky noise.
squeaky
Oh,
noise.
that balloony sound. Smell.
And that's just kind of
That's a little annoying. Well, got a little mask on here now. Turned into a lucha libre.
Alright, now for scissors.
All right, now for scissors.
Scissor time. Now, is there a trick with the scissors, or you just go in?
Find where
Find where your seam is going to be.
you are trying to cut.
You are trying to cut both layers if possible.
And try not to damage the piece underneath. But if you are cutting just silk saran wrap with your scissors, it is going to suck.
If you are cutting just silk saran wrap with your scissors, it is going to suck.
So what I'm trying to do here, so when it cuts it, I want it
So
to
what I'm trying to do here is I want
close
it
to center,
to
but doesn't have to be perfectly center.
be close to center, but it doesn't have to be perfectly center,
Because when I'm going to be taking
this
this
extra fur up here at the cut, I'm going to be trimming it even more. To that point.
The reason for
that is it's
where that
wound
wound is,
is,
and I'm gonna turn it into like floppy.
and I'm going to turn it into like floppy skin
So
and
it's gonna
fur.
get roughed up.
So it's going to get
Now-
roughened up.
Head back
So
out.
now we got our head back out,
We have a little Eevee
and we
mask.
have a little Eevee mask.
Kind of looks like a squirrel head.
Kind of looks like a squirrel head.
A little bit, yeah.
In my case, I need to check one more
Someone's
thing.
stick-
So I'm
In my case, I need to check one more thing, so I'm putting the head back in.
What are you
usually at this point,
checking?
You don't have to do that.
Usually at this point, you don't have to do that.
I am putting it back together.
I am putting it back together so I can find where the neck
So that
is,
trim.
so I know where to trim that.
Because obviously you're going to put fur on the neck too, right?
Yes. The neck actually gets
Yes. The neck actually gets too technical. So the neck will have both our
fabric that holds the two together. Because yes,
and fur, which will be the
is a better way to think of it. Because I'm going to take some polyfill and I'm going to be shoving polyfill around it.
nectar fabric that holds the two together. Because yes, this is the neck to be a little bit bigger. And the reason I want to cut it as big as possible
without making it oversized.
is
because it will make it easier when I go to
flatten these pieces.
If it's less curved.
If it's less curved sections.
So the compound curve section at the
This
bottom.
compound curve section right at the bottom.
Necessary.
That's unnecessary.
Why give myself more fight?
Why give myself more fight? And if you here's a good one. If you mess up and you nick it like I just did right here.
Just take a little tiny piece.
Just take a little tiny piece of duct tape.
Okay, too much.
Hey, too much.
And
just
together.
tape it back together.
Can't even tell where it was.
Can't even tell where it was.
I'll look at that later.
I'll look at that later.
Because I have to do that.
Because I have to do that. The same process I will be doing to this whole body.
And two legs.
And two legs.
I did, however,
I glued in the legs. So now we have little jiggly legs. All right. So let's see. One sec.
That was a lot of big click clacking.
Yeah, I have a very tactile keyboard. All right. So, see.
Yeah.
There.
Split it right there. That's like I was saying.
Split it right there. That's like I was saying where the ear goes.
The ear.
It should be right about the same spot on the other side.
That's another thing I have to.
That's another thing I have to saran wrap and cover with tape.
I'm going to be doing these guys.
Or I'm going to be doing these guys.
The ears. And then the ears, you're still going to like attach them into the head.
Yes. So
yes.
Basically,
so
I'm making out of tape here is the pattern for the fabric.
So if I had this made out of fabric, my ears would stick in right in these cuts that I just
into the head
made
like that,
into
and then I'll just have it sewed
the
around them.
head
That's why I put my seam lines where the
like
ears
that.
go. That way the ears can kind of.
And then I'll just have it sewed around them.
help hide some of it. Another thing is, I know,
Is
like with Eevee,
so like with Eevee, I know we have features.
so our eyes are
So our eyes are going to be big, and they're going to be somewhere over here and over here.
And then the mouth is
And
small,
then
but
the
it's
mouth is small, but it's low. So it's like down
here.
in
And then
here.
like a little somewhere about here. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just giving you reference. So I would
reference.
not want to cut.
So like I would not want to cut too high up this bottom side here because that's going to be right by the mouth, and that's going to show horribly.
It'll just look
It'll just look ugly.
anytime you can hide
So,
it somewhere less
anytime you can hide it somewhere less seen,
it's better. So I can do a little bit
it's
down
better.
here,
So I can do a little bit down here
but
of the chin, but if I can
kind of splay them off,
kind of splay them off to the sides like this,
and off this way.
and off this way,
That gives you a little bit more
that gives you a little bit more
cutting
wings or open, try to get it flatter, but it didn't cut into that area where the actual
thing is. The other thing I'm trying to avoid
the other thing I'm trying to avoid is this is a big panel here,
the less
so
seams I can
the less seams I can put in that, the better.
put back to the
But
head
the
here,
back of the head here is going to have prominent anyways because there's a chainsaw on it,
so I can cut that
so I can cut that up, and that gives me a lot more flat.
back here.
Also back
I have to give a relief.
here in this corner, I have to give
Now you see that laid
relief.
flat.
So if I flatter.
Also, this is going to be stiffer
Also,
than that.
this is going to be stiffer than that fabric is.
The fabric we are using.
The fabric we are using is this right here.
So this.
So
Actually,
this
blanket.
is actually a blanket.
I bought it wrong.
I bought it Ross.
You can get really
You
nice.
can get really nice fuzz fur
as a blanket
from Ross, and this one was $15.
So the $15 blanket from Ross.
This was a $15 blanket from Ross,
Do this whole
and this
thing
will
on
do this whole thing, and I'll have fabric left over.
Do keep in mind it is a blanket.
Do keep in mind it is a blanket. If you make a costume with it, it will be hot.
I know the hard way.
I know the hard way.
Yeah.
God.
Because that is
the same thing we did for Jake.
And then Jake had
a double compounding
because he also was made of EVA. So sometimes
crap because he also you can get away with just little shortcuts as long as they'll get you to the peak of the curve. Like you see right here, you have this as a peak.
It rolls over kind of hard right there.
It rolls over kind of hard right there. So if I just do a little cut up into the middle of that,
yeah, that's a lot.
It'll soften it up. So
The cut
is something
like that. So
like that.
you see this is already
You can see this is already starting to go down, but the hardest part can be figuring out how to do this around the face. Probably cut down more into the eyes.
Have eyes there.
Seeming I'm going to have eyes there.
I'm gonna overlay something for
And I'm going to overlay something for eyes. I don't know what yet, but I'm going to overlay something for eyes.
face.
That would allow the face to come out of it.
that got me to the muzzle side there.
That gets.
If I go from
here, let's see.
Don't want to steam one.
Don't want to seam one down there. I can do a seam one this way. I would solve it. That would still feed into the chainsaw look. And
I'm just trying to like
lay it flat on the table to see how I can get it flat.
This part is going to be a nightmare.
This part is going to be a nightmare.
That little nose and
about
the only thing
it's gonna suck. About the only thing you can really think is maybe cut down from the chainsaw mark down.
There. Yeah, that flattens out. So this is gonna be really much. And I'm gonna cut it a little fat on purpose.
And I'm gonna cut it a lot for two reasons. One, I need something to stick together when I go to sew it.
And then on the other part of that, it's a little bumpy and wrinkly.
Because this is a little bumpy and wrinkly, I need some fabric for it to be able to wrap around.
So the other thing you want to look at is your fabric.
Take your fabric
and just pull it.
And then just
like
pull
this
it.
One have a lot of
like this one have a lot of it's just tight.
It does not stretch at
it
all.
does not stretch at all.
You might have other fabric. Over that.
What you looking for now?
Cotton. Different fabric. Just demonstrate something here.
Not
I have no stretch fabric right now. I know where the stretch fabric is. In the project drawer.
This fabric, however.
This
stuff stretches a bunch.
This stuff stretches a bunch.
This stuff, if I was
making something like this, I wouldn't worry about adding the little bit extra fabric here.
When you wrap it around the object.
Because when you wrap it around the object,
it's gonna take that shape.
Really well.
Versus.
Booyah.
This here,
which is what we're actually using.
Which if you don't have enough fabric,
it is not going to cover it. But
the other thing we have to keep
in mind here
is if you look at this
fur,
any
fur or blanket like this, when we were kids, we've all done the thing where you wipe your hand one way, changes the color of fur, and then you can draw in it.
So you need to remember
which way you want that to go.
Like this one,
the natural laydown is that direction.
I don't want it.
I want a reverse snap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it.
And I'm going to make that side the bottom. Because that's going to make all the hair darker when it stands up. Versus when it plays down. And if
you see it gets darker up here. And if I went down with the nap, it gets shiny and white. So that's more the color I need. Therefore, I'm going to put a reverse snap on this so that gravity and everything's help hold that fur out.
Because that will give me a more natural look to this Eevee. It'll also make it look more
It'll
fuzzy.
also make it look more fuzzy because the hair is going to be standing out instead of laying down. If you want something to look sleek and fast, you want the hair to lay down.
If you want it to look cute,
if you want it to look cute, fuzzy, and friendly, you want the hair to stick more out.
And then
if you kind of like ruffle fur, or make
messy,
it look kind of
messy.
Depending on how your sculpt is, it'll either look
goofy and silly. So if you have
goofy
like the
and silly, so if you have like one of the big dog furry heads,
it looks
it'll look kind of goofy, silly, like that.
And
if you have
the lines of
something more along the lines of say a
bat helmet,
bat helmet, like for instance,
this guy. So if you're gonna make
his helmet here, you want it to make it look like it had like a fine fur on it, you'd want all your naps to go down, so that when your fur lays down, it's going to be shiny, sleek, and smooth, which will give you a more aggressive look.
Versus like
this, which this will just be making the fur napped up and messy.
So you can take the
exact same fur, whether it's
long nap or whatever,
short nap, long nap or whatever, nap length just being the length of the actual fuzziness, and
Jeff is having technical difficulties with the drawers.
So if you have like this fur,
if you kind of lay it down, it's more subdued and calm. But if you kind of just mess it up, bring it up,
you get more
of a fluffy, nappy weirdness. This was actually going to be at one point a neck piece for costume, but it ended up not being needed because the suit closed up more on him than I don't know, over my head. It wasn't meant for me. But
it was meant for the little one.
Depending on which way the fur goes, it'll change your effect. So this was going to be monkey fur. That's why I left it really. I got the fur at the length where it wants to stand up. Either way it goes. So if you wipe it down, it still has a little bit of stand.
Very puffy fabric.
Up to it. It's a very puffy fabric. You wipe it up, same thing, and then you can kind of rough it, and it'll still
good thing when you're doing
same.
Something like
Very
cosplay.
Good thing
Because
when you're doing something like a cosplay.
Half the time you cannot see if you're cosplay.
Because all I can see what it looks like.
But if you're a cosplayer and you see
Cosplay
another cosplayer and you're like, hey, that thing's about to fall off. Quietly
But also you're not flawed. Quietly tap them on the shoulder, let them know.
Hey.
Or hey,
blah blah blahs
your blah blah blahs unzipped, or your buttons unzipped, or your wig is slipping back, and I'm starting.
Most cosplayers will just say thank you, and that's all it needs to be. It's just a quick little thank you.
The top.
Yeah. There's many
different lengths and naps and backings for fur. So
like this
is a lower grade fur, and it has this very rough, scratchy back. This is not necessarily a bad fur,
which is why I
kept it. But
if you use something like
this, you want to make sure it's not against your skin.
Because if you made like an arm,
piece out of this, it doesn't feel horrible right now. But get sweaty and have that thing go like that for 4, 5, 6, 8 hours all day while you're at a con, you might have a rash, or you might just itch, and it might get sore.
It's horrible. But something like this.
This was actually meant to be a relative retention. So it actually has a fairly nice back on here. It almost feels like a faux leather.
This is not horrible on the skin.
This is not horrible on the skin.
A lot of the fabrics you'll see out there. Not that one.
Red one.
Will be like this red one.
It has this weird silky back. The stuff doesn't feel bad on your skin. I will say, when you cut this, do it in a room you can vacuum and sweep
very well.
It is horribly messy.
I mean, I have 3 different colors. I have green.
I have 3 different colors.
It's horrible.
Greens.
Same with stuff like this. This was horribly messy.
This was horribly messy as well. This is the first from the dog.
But the backing on this is like a middle ground. So
but the back,
it's more of a fabric.
On this,
but at the same time,
this is like a middle ground. So it's closer to.
So it's not quite as itchy.
It's closer to a fabric, so it's not quite as itchy. But I wouldn't use that directly on my skin for hours and hours.
Because this one has a pattern.
Because this one has a pattern on the back. Like
you
that.
can take something like this if you're doing
if you're doing like a native costume.
And if you wrap it around, you'll have
you'll have like a hide skin with the fur poking out around the edges.
So it depends on what
you're doing with your fabric.
This one came. I originally got this.
This one came
for the dog.
I originally got this for the dog, but it looks more like Wookiee fur.
I'm not going to pull it out too much because it
is packaged in here real deep, but it is a long, deep brown fur.
I'm trying to remember now what
color Eevee was around his neck and stuff.
It's like a whitish, tan, kind of creamy color.
Was it a lighter color or was it a darker color?
Light.
Because like this is a cream. This is like a nice dark tan cream.
I've seen variants where it's white or it's just a lighter brown.
It's a yellowed white. Okay, so it's like an antique white. All right. So yeah, his color is an antique white would be the best color way I could describe it there. So he'll probably actually. I don't think I have it long enough now. White. I might have to get fur for that. Blankets work great when you're just trying to make even for like stuffed toys. It's super soft. I have some leftover yellow over here. And after I remake Jake, if I still have some left over, I will be making a Jake pillow. Because that sounds wonderfully soft and comfortable.
And Jake will have transformed into a pillow for you.
Also, when I dress
as Finn, I can literally just have my Jake pillow. Plus, I have a
fabric
one of these blankets that same Jake fabric, so I can literally like have a Jake blanket and pillow. Which will be awesome. So
I have found a great way to
found a great way to mark this stuff.
The best I have now is just
The
use
best
marker
I have found is just use a marker on the side that you're not showing.
because it is a blanket. It is already sewed at
Because it is a blanket, it is already sewed at the edge.
So you can either use that to your benefit, or
So you can either use that to your benefit or just
so like in this
cut that
case,
off and avoid it. So like in this case, it's not going to help me none.
so I'm just gonna avoid it. But
So I'm just going to avoid it. But if I was doing like on my Jake suit and I did my gloves, I made that piece the top of the arm, so I didn't have to re-sew the cuff.
So if you can use it to
So
your benefit, use it to your
if you
benefit.
can use it to your benefit, use it to your benefit.
If not, just work around it.
If not, just work around it.
Still a piece of fabric.
Still a piece of fabric. This is
Twin
belt
mattress.
twin mattress. Piece of fabric this size
would cost me more than
would cost me more than $15.
It would probably been about $30
So
for this
it would
size,
probably been about $30 for the size of furry fabric like this,
or more.
or more.
I will easily get
And I will easily get all I need out of this piece, and probably have some left over.
All right, we are at the 4-minute mark.
Oh, you were saying that you want to.
Oh, so you're saying that you want to do this?
Yeah, because I got to promote this. All right, guys. So this Friday, Sat Geeks is hosting a Palentine's Bingo Night at New Helvetia. This is a family-friendly event, so you may bring the kiddos if you want to. We're going to have some crafting activities for adults and kids, along with lots of fun prizes for bingo. Kids can play bingo if they want to. We have prizes for them as well as the adults, of course. It's going to be a fun night. We're going to have food and good vibes there. Our President Frisco is going to be the MC. And it's going to be a fun night. I'm going to be there. I'm bringing a couple gals from work. So, yeah. Oh, I know. I don't know why it echoes towards the end, Sewang. I really don't understand why it does that. Okay, Jeff muted himself. That's probably why, but hopefully now. Wow, someone is. It's not that he's watching in the other room. We are literally in the same room, and we're trying to cancel out the noise as best we can. So bear with us, people. We're trying to get new stuff. It's hard. We don't have a place for you guys to donate us tacos or anything, so I hear the echo again.
Sandra is literally a curtain wall.
The wall behind Sandra is literally a curtain wall for soundproofing currently. We need to build an actual wall.
And that costs money.
Right. So this Friday, guys, go to New Helvetia for a Palentine's fun event. It's going to be a great time. And then also this coming Sunday on the 15th is East Bay Comic-Con. I know there's going to be a lot of fun cosplayers going to be there and a lot of great vendors. So if you guys are in the East Bay, go check that out in Concord. Later on this month, we have Stockton Con Winter. That's going to be February 28th and March 1st, because, February's short month. And we'll be at the Stockton Pop Culture Convention Center. We will be there both days, so check out Sat Geeks is who I mean. And we will be there probably at least one, if not both the days. We're still trying to figure that out. More to come about that. Also, let me just bring it up here because this was a today thing that I just found out that Sat Geeks is going to be a part of. I'm a little slacking right here. So, it's bringing about Secret Stash TCG show is bringing again their Pokemon trading card event. It's going to be February 22nd at 2001 Point West Way in Sacramento from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's one day only, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of Pokemon, a lot of card trading vendors. We're going to have a scavenger hunt there. So you guys, if you love Pokemon, come down there on February 2nd, 22nd, and check that out. Now, also, we got to promote, even though he's on right now, our man Grave. He is interviewing today the Chris Von Hoffman. He's a writer, director, editor, with works including Drifter, Devil's Workshop, and Monster Party. So that's actually starting like literally right now because it just hit 7 o'clock. So guys, go over there and tell Grave we said hey and check out that interview because you know Grave's a cool guy. Also, gotta bring this up again. We are still on the road to 200, guys. We are at 179. So someone unsubscribed. Like, what the hell? So we gotta get people back. We gotta bring that person back and get more subscribers. We have tons of prizes to give away once we hit.
We have a
Echo.
We have a couple of ribbons left. And if you see us at a show and you're subscribed and you have not got a ribbon, or you want to subscribe and
or you have people that haven't subscribed, get them to subscribe and you can get the ribbon. We have a few left. So if you see us at a
or
show,
you have people with you that haven't subscribed, get them to subscribe. Subscribe and you can.
But let's see.
You're cutting out.
But let's see.
All right.
I
have to trace out my pattern here. It looks like nonsense. It looks like the outline of a bad graffiti.
trace out my outline. I will end up cutting all this out with a fairly strong tolerance around it. And once I cut that out, it will wrap right around, and I'll be able to pull up all the little seams, and we flip it right side out. I've already determined on this whole project, I'm leaving this seam right here open to wrap it over, and then I will hand sew this back piece.
And on the body, I'm going to leave.
The seam down his back open, and I will hand sew.
Because
when he hangs, he's going to hang this way towards you, or this way.
So that back seam won't
really show much. So I'm going to be hand sew that back seam. And if you need tip on sewing, again, go to our other show on there and go watch Cindy Rue.
Give a whole tutorial on
how to use the sewing and all that stuff.
We are going to be
working on something slightly different next week. We're going to be doing a little bit more Doom Cool stuff.
And there will be
announcements next week.
So definitely be there and
be on time because there's going to be big announcements on that show. So.
All right. And I think that's going to do it.
For us, though.
All right. So remember, be a maker, not a hater.
Bye.